I want to welcome you to the 34th edition of Thrive with Babs, as we call it. This is the 34th edition, and we started a series last month that we called, or is titled, The Achiever's Will. The Achiever's Will. And we identify certain wills that all achievers have to navigate, have to push in the course of becoming successful or accomplished in life. And last month, we discussed the will of personal philosophy. The will of personal philosophy. That's what we discussed last month, February 2024. And we said, okay, we'll touch all the wills as best as we can in the course of the other editions of Thrive. And today, the will we are looking at is the will of choices and decisions. The will of choices and the will of decisions. How do they influence or impact our potential for success? How do they push us? How do they accelerate us to the path of success? Or how do they hinder us from becoming accomplished, from achieving our goals and objectives in life, and from attaining what we desire to attain or to achieve in life? So today we are looking at the will of, excuse me, please, the will of choices and decisions. As I said, this is the 34th edition of Thrive. This is supposed to move. It's not moving. These are some of the topics that we've discussed during the Thrive sessions. The previous one we've had started with self-identity and definition, did these 4 sessions on purpose, the 3-step leap, the missing link, strategic positioning for success. We did that till to conceive, build, and sustain. And up to this point, what we're doing, there were physical meetings that we're having. But from the topic, how to turn setbacks into success, we started doing virtual, because then the previous topics were pre-COVID, and from how to turn setbacks into success, those are post-COVID period. So we essentially just start to do it online on Zoom. And you can see the last on that list is the Achiever's Will, part 1, which we did last month. And this month, or today, which is the last day of 2020 of March 2024, we are going to be looking at the second will that achievers have to push, or they have to contend with. And briefly, I usually use this to say, in terms of justification, Bible is used as a reference, as a body of literature, not as a religious treatise for private bars, because it's not a religious gathering. It's a life sharing, knowledge sharing session. I share insights that I'm learning from life, from observation, from my meditation, and audience also share their insights. And audience cut across Muslims, Christians, even those who do not subscribe to any of those faiths. They join us for Thrive. So today we are looking at, in terms of reference, we use the Bible for references, as a work of literature, and because it's enduring, it's one of the oldest books around, and the lessons there, the life lessons there are universally applicable. And some of us can still relate to some of the scenarios capturing the greed, over ambition, disobedience, all those things that we grapple with, lack of planning. These are all themes, these are all life lessons that we can see in that scripture. And those are part of the things that we discuss at Thrive. And To recap the last session, when we were talking about the wheel of success, when we started the wheel of success, and we look at the wheel of philosophy, personal philosophy. Um, these are the wheels. I mean, the number one wheel is the wheel of personal philosophy. Number two wheel is the wheel of decision and choices. And then the number three wheel is self-application, discipline, and management. Self-application, self-discipline, self-management. Then the fourth wheel we'll also be talking about is the wheel of resource management. Resource management, and the final wheel is the wheel of resilience and adversity management. But in terms of personal philosophy, when we looked at that, we we discussed, and we had a breakout session where we talked about how do you even trace the personal philosophy. All of us, either we know it or not, we have a body of philosophy that guides the way we perceive life, the way we see people, the way we do things, the way we actually even do things generally. They are all informed by our philosophy. So, and all of us have personal philosophy. So we discussed how do you trace your personal philosophy? How do you trace it? How do you know that this is what my personal philosophy is? So those are the things we discussed at the last session. And then to what extent do this philosophy actually influence us, and which are the areas of personal philosophy? Where do we see it manifested? Where do we see it being expressed in our work life, in our family life, in our day-to-day activities, in our work ethics, in our relationship, in different areas of our lives? To see that this personal philosophy has an influence in the way we do things generally. And then we also had a brief exercise breakout session where some of us had to discuss what are our personal philosophy, and how have those philosophy, how have they helped us to achieve success? How have they hindered us from achieving success? So we had that breakout session, which was a practical exercise. And then after that, there was a task given to all of us that don't just end the discussion there in that breakout sessions, closed breakout rooms. Engage one another for the next 30 days about those philosophies that we discuss, that you guys discuss among yourselves, and see how you can help one another to motivate them to adjust the philosophy they have to adjust, to hold them accountable if they need accountability system for them to be able to achieve what they desire in life based on their personal philosophy. I don't know if there's anyone among us who followed up with that process by maybe you follow up with the person you discuss with in your breakout session, and then you guys um, you engage one another in the course of the month. Is anybody? Do we have anybody like that here who was part of last session and who was engaging his or her partner during the breakout session? Anyone? Do we have anyone? Okay. If you are here,
Um,
please just okay. Please,
yes,
Miriam.
at the last session where we had breakout session, I think I was paired with Julius and was it Julius and Mr. Lebili, and we spoke. We talked about briefly about what uh, like that some things we struggle, to do, and there are some things they're still struggling to do, and ways on how to achieve those. And I think majority of after speaking, the two people I was paired with had the issue of not being organized, and then we had to talk about, in fact, I had to share, my own way of, trying to get organized, trying to meet deadlines that to help them, and to also, I think I also asked them to also probably set timers on their phones if there are people who, they're always with their phones all the time, so they can always do that. And I think Mr. Lebele also talked about him having a project which, because he's not being organized, he can't put them in order and stuff like that. So yes, within our breakout session, we had a little bit of we talked amongst ourselves, and it was quite engaging. Before, I think it was a 15 minutes breakout session then. So we just basically talked about areas where we needed to we needed help with, basically. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Mary, for that. After that session, did you guys talk to each other? Did you guys engage one another?
No, we did not.
Okay.
We did not.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so any other person wanted to share with us based on the experience with during the breakout sessions, the discussion with your partners? Anyone who was there last session last month? If there's none, I'll just proceed. Okay, then today we are going to be looking at decisions and choices, just like I've said. And if you've been part of Thrive session for some time, you see that we only have these audience insights where we have everyone who is willing to actually share with us, talk about their own experiences, how the topic or the issue we are discussing, how it has affected or impacted them at some point or the other. And so here now we are looking at audience insight, and I'll be asking us questions. Please feel free to share. If you don't wish to share, we will respect that. But it's good that we all learn from one another. And the first question, which also has like a twin question, is that what are some of the best decisions or choices you have made in life? And how did they play off? Why did you think those decisions or those choices were successful? And if you don't mind, do you want to walk us through your processes? How did you arrive at making that decision or those choices? Anybody willing to share with us your best decisions or your best choices? And how did they play off? How did they pay you so well that you feel those are your best decisions, your best choices? And if you don't mind walking us through what were your processes, what were your thoughts when you were making those decisions or those choices, what led to those you making those calls? Anyone willing to share with us? Anyone? Nobody's willing to share, or maybe you've not thought about it. Okay, maybe let me also ask the other question. So, what do you consider some of the worst decisions or choices you have made, and how bad did they get? How bad those decisions and choices get, and what led to you making those such decisions or such choices? Anyone willing to share with us, either good or bad, the choices, the decisions, how they play off, and what are the things you learn from there, and what are the benefits of that, the boom, the good things that happen after you've made such choices or decisions, or what are the bad experiences you've had after making such decisions? Anyone willing to share with us? Anyone? Nobody? Because
Okay. Good
really in
evening,
life.
everyone. I'm just coming in.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
Chioma.
so yes, sir. I would like to share some of my best decisions
Okay.
and how it paid off. Okay. One of my best decisions was not relying solely on my certificate. So after graduating from the university, I stayed almost 4 years without a white collar job.
Wow.
And while at it, a lot of people were advising me, they were like, okay, why not just take up a teaching job? Because it's the normal thing, is believed that every graduate who doesn't have a steady job should go into teaching. And I, for one, I hated teaching with passion. So that period, it was really frustrating. It was really almost depressing. But it was during the COVID-19, I decided, like, okay, I'm someone who likes creative stuff. Then I would even stay at home and be making designs, like when it has to do with clothing, embellishments on clothing. So that period, while I was at home, I started doing all of those things. And apart from that too, I realized that I was interested in graphics. So I just enrolled. Although before then, I paid for a particular training and I didn't get what I want. In fact, I lost my money in the course of that, and I lost interest. That actually got me kind of pissed. But somehow that same year, I came in contact with a lady that was like, okay, why not just give it a try? I know that someone has betrayed you, but just give it a try. So I enrolled for another training in graphics, and it was amazing. That was how I started. It was just a 1-5 training. That training was just 1-5. But what I got from that training was more than the 1-5. And that was how I started my graphics, because I was also writing then. So I was like, okay, instead of always giving some designs to graphic designers, let me just learn and be doing it for myself. So from designing for myself, I started designing for other brands. And since then, I stopped searching for a job. Till date, I don't think I've ever gone for a physical interview that they'll be like, okay, I'm looking for a job and all of those things. It was graphics and writing that opened other doors of opportunities for me. And till date, if I look back, I'll just be laughing, like, so what did I not do in school for 5 years if I can't use that certificate? But then, like you see, it's also good to go to school. Education is not a scam, because you will also need it, even in the skills you have acquired. So that is just the best decision I made in 2019/2020.
Wow. Thank you so much, Chioma, for sharing your experience with us. Incidentally, we have two of you that are Chioma here. So I know you are Chioma Okpara. We have Chioma Ineje here. So we'll have to be very specific in case we have the other Chioma also sharing our own experience with us. Thank you for walking us through that very fantastic experience of yours, how your decisions and your choices, how they paid off. And and where it has put you today. I love the fact that you even walk us through your processes, your thought processes. What were you thinking for you to make that decision? And even though it appeared as if minute, then it appeared as if it was inconsequential. You had to do a training of 1,500, and that training added to your skill set, and with that skill set plus the writing skill you already have, you're using that to actually sustain yourself without having to go for a white collar job. So, and that's a very fantastic one. Thank you very much for sharing with us. Anyone willing to share with us, apart from Chioma, either good or bad, the decisions you've made and how they've paid off in terms of helping you to succeed either in life or maybe in a certain aspect of your life, or if they didn't pay off too well, how did they go, and what did you learn from that process? Anyone willing to share?
Good evening, everyone.
Julius, okay, please. Good evening.
Yes. Mine are on the opposite side. When I finish my first.
Is it me or you? Your voice is a bit low. Your volume is not so loud. Let me stop my screen and see maybe I can fix my own side of the audio while.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So after I finished my first degree, a coursemate who is a bit older told me to my maths immediately.
I felt was that struggling to have a first degree, all the stress, all the pain, I decided no, let me work and come back for the master. And if I had known, I would have followed it.
Sorry.
But coming back
Is
to
it me that is not hearing, or is okay? Yeah, please
and
continue.
the second one was during COVID, I decided to do a study. I put in for a copywriting class. I actually paid for it. That was why I
Beautiful.
learned a little about copyright. But the bad aspect is that I lost interest entirely about it. I just
Wow.
left it. And today it's still painful. And assuming I waited and I was patient enough to really study, I would have maybe made a lot of money from copywriting. I think that's
Yeah, thank you for sharing that experience with us, Julius. I mean, in terms of what you did, having to also take a copywriting course, which also now helped you, and I believe is also helping you to advance yourself in career-wise, is earning you some money, and is helping you to pay your bills. And so I mean, do you want to walk us through why did you decide to go for the copyright? Because I know you graduated from English language, English literature. So why did you not decide to go for a copywriting course apart from the English degree that you have? Julius, you want to walk us through your processes? Hello, Julius, can you hear me? I hope it's not network from here or from the side. Okay, while we're waiting for Julius, anybody else want to share with us? I mean, what were those decisions you've made? How fantastic they are, even the ones that are not so good enough. And what are the things
Hello.
Yes, hi, Julius. You want to talk us through
I
why
yes, I thought you heard all I said.
Sorry, the network wasn't so kind. I wasn't hearing.
Oh, okay. Probably I did
not.
not switch off the Bluetooth. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let me begin again. I said when I finished my first degree,
Okay.
a friend who is older that we were classmates told me to, go for the masters immediately. So I was thinking within myself, the stress and the struggle, for getting a first degree is too much. I need to go and, work and then come back. Even I discovered that it became extremely difficult for the financial aspect and every other thing. So I had to abandon the program. Then during COVID, I paid for a copywriting class, which somebody sent the link to me. I think it was just 1,500.
Wow.
The lady told me I should put in for it since I'm very good with writing to help me. So I started the course, and all of a sudden I just lost interest and I couldn't go back to it.
Wow.
And I was reading the testimony of people who did. There was even a lady who is my friend on Facebook. She ended the course with them and she's making money.
Wow.
So I was like, why did I stop? Why didn't I finish it? So I think that's the bad part of my own experience.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for giving us the other side of the narrative, which is really lovely. So Julius has been able to tell us, okay, he took a good decision to enroll for his master's immediately after graduating from school, but then perhaps he didn't follow through because he had to stop the program. And then another pattern you can also see. I'm sure I remember when we discussed last month. These are some of the things that you yourself, Julius, particularly shared as part of your struggles. You now also started this copywriting course, 1.5, just like Chioma, 1.5 for graphic design. You add copywriting, and I know you are a good writer. Went for that course, 1.5, but then also you didn't finish it. And then you are now seeing people sharing testimonials. Oh, I did this course and I'm loving it. I'm making so much money from it. And you're like, wow, why did I do this? So, and you can see how decisions and how choices can affect us. Because it's not just to make decisions. The truth is that all of us make decisions on a day-to-day basis. God knows how many decisions we make on a single day. We make decisions, we make choices, but how many of them do we push through? Do we follow through? That is the important thing. How many of the decisions we make do we see through? Do we push through? To share my own example, God has helped me. I've made quite a lot of very wonderful decisions in life, many wonderful decisions. But one of the decisions that I also made that I believe is like a standout for me is after school, after completing my NYSC in 2002, I wanted to start. I've always wanted to start. Maybe even to backdate that. When I got to UI in 1997, I decided to join campus journalism. I decided to join the press club in my hostel, Independence Hall, and then I also joined in my department. That's the Department of English. And I think that really helped me. I've always been a writer since I was young. I've been writing anyway. So by the time I got to school, I'd already written like how many manuscripts. So it was just like, okay, and this school, they encouraged people to write here. And I joined, and that really helped me. Because by the time I was leaving school, I knew I was going to start a writing and publishing firm. I wasn't going to work in a white collar job, so to speak. And that's because I was able to do quite well as an editor, as whatever I did on campus then. And that also helped me to do well in my grades. I wasn't even the most serious of students, but I was a very active and committed student. And I think that helped me a lot. So leaving school, I was like, no, I was going to start my own business. I was going to do this, do that. But it didn't pay off. Finance wasn't forthcoming and all that. So one day, I had an opportunity, and also joined the publications department in my church so that I could also be able to contribute my own quota to what is going on there. And we had to do an interview with one of the pastors in my church. And during the interview, she just said, she needed somebody that will help her to write. She's busy doing all. And the HOD was like, this strong guy is not really doing much at this moment. Let him come and to write. And we were like, oh, can you write and all that? And that's how I got a job, a job I didn't go to interview for, just a recommendation. But the decision was that when I went and talked to them in the office, I wasn't too particularly pleased with the offer of what I would be paid because it's far. I had to go to Lekki. I was staying at Oshodi then. And so the money, but I decided to just, okay, let me just do it because this woman said she needed help too. And that proved to be one of the best decisions I've taken. And the person I'm talking about is the person of Mrs. Kaushika. So I got to work with her for 7 years. As I said, the package wasn't too fantastic, but I got exposed. I buried my head in readings. I was more or less like a resource person. She was always, you guys would know her. She was always going to different places to go and speak, and had to be the one to prepare what she was going to speak about, had to do research, had to read and extract. I learned so much, and I met many people. Now, I'm a bit of an introvert. I don't like moving out like that. But I met people, got details of people. Okay. So when I was to now leave to start the business, I already had like a good resource network of people that will market my services to. And that was one of the best decisions I've taken. I didn't want to work, so speak, in that kind of, I didn't want to go and be doing that white collar job. But I decided to take it. So it was a choice, a decision I took, and that really, really, really paid off for me. And that was, from there, even having to even learn how to run a business, Because no people jump into business, they think it's not just easy to just run the business. You have to learn a lot of things, and I really, really learned. So what that job wasn't giving me in terms of money was giving me in terms of knowledge that cannot be traded. I mean, they're not on the same level with money. It was giving me exposures, was giving me so many things. And so that was a very fantastic decision that I made then, and it paid off. So and that is life for you. When you make decisions, what were you thinking about? I was my own, okay, she needed help, let me go and help. Let me just and I'm somebody that was this prominent. I could also learn a lot of things from her, and I really, really learned a lot of things from her. And that is one of my very highlights in terms of learning, in terms of making decisions that proved pivotal in my life. And talking of mistakes too, God knows I had my own fair shares of bad decisions and choices. I think if I can I'm just trying to see which one I can just share. Um, I think maybe on campus as well, were to have this program. I was actually, it was close to the tail end of my having to graduate, but I was like, we needed to have this National Association of Students of, because when I was going through the files and the folders of my predecessors, I saw that they had a national body, and there's nothing like that again. And no UI and I've been UI, let's have these things. And no, it wasn't such a fantastic decision. Maybe things actually also moved away from my hand because we started that process. I met some very wonderful people in the course of that, planning for that. But then ASU struck. And when ASU struck, schools were closed. Students had to vacate the campuses. And and I was like, no, let's do this thing because we spent so much money. We've spent so much money on doing all these things. So I was still now going ahead. No, we've got to. So I still stood by that decision. But there was nothing there. They even sent me a message from the from Pritchard Hall that hey, what program are you organizing? The school is officially closed. So you cannot talk of holding any conference for students when school is officially closed. So was lost lot of money that I had to be paid when I was even serving because we had already commissioned prints and all that, and how to. So that decision, once there was already something that affected it, I should have just dropped it because that's another thing. We've made a decision and it's not looking right. Just drop it. There's no need. You should know that you are going west and you find yourself going south and you now start to hit your head in south. No, you should be able to learn when to recalibrate and say, no, I need to turn back the course of my sail and the right direction. Most of all, some of also the regrets we have in life is when we stay too close to a decision that is not working, and that can also affect us. I don't know if anybody is willing to share with us. I will just quickly move on to the next slide. So, to start our discussion today, pause and ponder as you look at these thoughts very carefully. The choices we make are the truest reflections of our intelligence, our value system, and our future potential. The choices we make in life, they are usually the choices in life usually speaks to your intelligence level. Can we help me to mute this person? Yes, can we mute the person who is hearing some strange sound? The choices we make are the truest reflection of our intelligence. In fact, your choice shows if you are intelligent or dumb. That's the truth. It's not a matter of I wish I had known, because you can't choose above your intelligence. And then it also reflects your value system. It shows what do you value the most. Do you value relationship? Do you value peace? Do you value, respect, virtue? What those your value system usually governs your choices, and then your choices also have a way of letting us know your future potential. What is your future going to look like? It's based on those decisions you are making today or you have taken in recent times. Very important. The choices, they are the truest reflection of our intelligence, our value system, and our future potential. You cannot choose above your level of intelligence. You cannot. It's not possible because you see set of options and then you will choose based on what you think is the best for you or for whatever you are choosing for, and that is intelligence. But except you are leveraging on a higher intelligence, that is when you cannot choose above your intelligence. But most of the times, most of us settle for choices that are in tandem with our intelligence, except we are leveraging intelligence that is higher or superior to ours. And that is when we can, and those can be either we talk to people and they advise us. Maybe people are more informed than us and they give us an advice. Hey, no, why do you want to do this? No, do this. Why do you want to? So if you leverage on superior intelligence, now some of us will go and talk to people who are not even wiser than us. And who are maybe they are dumb, they don't even know much about what we are consulting them about, and they give us some very stupid and dumb advice, and we go for that. So, and except you are living on a superior one, if you are religious, maybe you pray about the choice before you make them, then you are sure that okay, God that you have prayed to will guide you in making the right decision. Or we have friends or maybe relatives who are very intelligent than you are, and you run your choices and your options through them, and they look at it, they analyze, and they oh, why not go for this? And that will also give you a better. So now you are operating above your own intelligence. That is when you can choose above your intelligence. But oftentimes, our choices are direct reflection of our level of intelligence. And another thing is that decisions do make you. So approach them very carefully and take them very seriously. Decisions make us, decisions, they make us, and they also make us. So you should approach them decision making very carefully and take them very seriously. Don't allow yourself to be rushed into making a decision. Don't allow yourself to be browbeaten to make the decision. Take your time because whatever decision you take or you make can actually affect you. And then you have often heard that two or more heads are better than one. But I will tell you that a plurality of heads do not or does not necessarily make the best decision if the premise is wrong or the indices are wrong. And these are all my personal thoughts, and I think this particular is on my list of quotes, my muses and all that, and I've proved it over and over. When people come and tell me, we discussed in my family, and we said this is what, and I'm just, how can all of you in your family gather together and you say you discussed, and this is what you say you are going to do? So it's not the fact that we discuss, the fact that we reason doesn't mean that the decision is going to be the perfect one or is going to be the best one. A decision doesn't work with plurality. It works with intelligence. It's not if you have 1,000 heads and 1,000 heads, they gather together and they start to analyze, okay, a phenomenon, and they say, no, the world, and there are practical examples to tell us this. There was a time in the world when the whole universe, experts, intelligent people, scholars, when they believed that the earth was flat. that the earth was flat, that this earth that we all live in, when you travel till some point, you will fall down because you get to the end and you'll fall down. And some guy came up and after observation and said, no, Galileo Galilei said, no, the earth is not flat. The earth is spherical, it's round. And scholars, they made this guy to kill himself. They sentenced him to death. So, and these are people who were learned. So the fact that if the premise they were arguing from was wrong, you can't make a good decision on the wrong premise. So the plurality of this saying that two heads are better than one, blah blah blah. No, it's not. I don't believe it. I don't subscribe to it. If the heads are dumb heads, you only have multiple or dumb heads times how many making dumb decisions. So what you should go for in terms of decision making is intelligence. It's not the plurality. That doesn't mean you shouldn't consult people for counsel, talk to them to advise and all that. But make sure whatever decisions and choices we are making, they are founded in knowledge, in analysis, sound judgment, not something that you make on a hunch. Not that you should ignore your hunch, but ensure that you cover all the bases. Because decisions make us. When we make decisions now determine what we become or who we are. So let's look at the wheel of decisions and the wheel of choices. And these are the spheres. Please, let's pay attention to this very well. Spheres of our choices, how they influence us. There are some choices that have been made for us in life that we do not have any say over them because they were made for us. None of us chose our parents. None of us chose our parents. I don't know if any of us chose, but none of us chose our parents. Those are decisions that were made for, but we can choose our patronage because success in life is also hinged upon parentage and patronage. You do not choose your parents, but you can get subscribed to parents if your parents are not so well-to-do. They don't have the knowledge that you need to succeed. They don't have the network that you need. You can get yourself subscribed to parents or to people who can play a parental role in your life that will give you the patronage you need for success. So in as much as you don't choose your parentage, you can choose who patronizes you. And I was talking about my own having to choose where I work. That was my first job. Now, I didn't come from a well-off family. So my parents obviously didn't have the network. They don't have the say. They don't have the resources to give me what I desire for myself in life. So that means I needed to get, not as if my parents were bad, but I needed to get that from somewhere else. And I had the opportunity to work with somebody who wasn't even going to pay me so much, but I was going to learn a lot. I was going to enjoy patronage from. And I did that. So what I lacked in parentage, I was able to compensate for in patronage by my decision and choices. So let's not have this fatal perspective about choices. That's how God created us. That's how God made it. We'll just accept. No, you don't have to accept. Even God doesn't want you to accept everything. It's religion that will be telling you, no, God has said it, you must know. God said in his word that, come, let us listen to it. Let's talk. Let's engage ourselves. But religion, particularly when we practice religion in Africa, we subject our intelligence, we suppress it. We don't want people to be able to express themselves people should not have a dissenting voices. That is not the way, I mean, God engages us. He gave us intelligence to be able to reason, to use them. So what you don't have in terms of your choices, the spheres of your choices, you don't have maybe well-to-do parentage. It's not as if you should go and just start looking for another parent, but look for sources where you can make up for that. It's your choice. You have to make that choice. They won't come to you. Family background, none of us chose which family we were born into, where we were born, where we were placed, where we were raised. But you can choose where you get yourself affiliated after you can make your own decisions. So family background is poor, family background is disadvantaged, but what about your own personal affiliation? Who are you affiliated with? Who do you know that can compensate for what you lack in terms of your background? Then native environment. I was born in Ilupeju. Then it used to be called Mushin local government. But I wasn't going to end my life in Ilupeju and Mushin. I was going to, I knew definitely the way I see myself, I'm going to live in Ibra area. So Ilupeju, even Ilupeju has it has that popular side, the Gbogbo side as they call it, and then it has the highbrow side. And I actually love Ilupeju. So when I could now rent a place, I went to live in Ilupeju estate because I actually love Ilupeju as a place. So you can choose where you settle. You can choose where you settle. You don't, the fact that you are born there doesn't mean that you should die there. The fact that you were born in Mushin doesn't mean that you should die in Mushin. No. You can choose your settlement. You can decide where you want to settle in life. Then native circles, when you were growing up, all of us had a set of friends that because we're neighbors, we go to the same school, so all of us were flocking together. But if those friends, those circles cannot deliver the kind of future you desire for yourself, then you need to deliberately choose the people who can be friends with them. You can choose. And then there are instilled notions that when we were growing up, we had them saying, maybe our parents were saying that they were our uncles, our aunties, our people who are senior, and then we also accept those. And then you let that inform your choices. So if those notions are wrong, like they say that heaven helps those who help themselves, it is wrong. There's nothing like that. So you've got to know what are notions that you've been fed with, or indoctrination that you've been fed with, and then what are the informed perception you have. You've got to be able to differentiate between what was instilled in you, where you do not have much choice, and what you yourself perceive to be the truth. You've got to be able to determine your own truth. And then we also, all of us have ancestral culture and worldview, the way people have always been looking at the world. And hey, you've got to know, no, this, I know that this is what is widely accepted where I came from, but is it the truth? No, it's not. So that means I don't want it. And no, you cannot have your own contrived something that the truth that you yourself determine yourself, this is the truth. There was a time in our country, and I still think it's still happening, when they used to kill twins, when they thought that twins were evil children. But are twins evil children? No, that was the worldview, that was the culture then. And it was a wrong culture. But we needed a higher intelligence, a higher force, a higher knowledge or information to tell us, no, this is wrong. You can't be killing these children, that they are evil. There's nothing like evil children. So you just need to know what are those things. And it's not, just not even take it to the extreme of killing children. Or what are those cultural beliefs that you yourself because that's the way your culture, either you are Yoruba, you are Hausa, you are Igbo, you are Ibibio, you are Ichekiri, you are Urobo, you are just make you are thief. Just make what are those ancestral culture or worldview that people from your part of the world they hold there? Are they the truth? Those worldview, those opinions, are they true? Have you analyzed them? We have to make this, you have to make choices. That is how you make intelligent decisions, intelligent choices. It's not just by accepting the status quo, it's by questioning the status quo and rationalizing it. It doesn't mean that you'll be right all the time, and it doesn't mean that you'll be wrong all the time. But you've got to be able to rationalize and ask questions. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? It's something I usually tell my children. Say, see, you a child doesn't, and most of us we have this good whatever about our parents, and they are wonderful people. But hey, you do everything I'm doing because I'm not perfect. If I'm doing something wrong, you should be able to note those and then change it in your own life, change it in your own family. You don't have to replicate all I do in my own life, in my own. No, it doesn't happen that way. You have to be able to know what these things I'm seeing, where did they come from? Because all of us, we are products of mirror. We've seen mirrors of our parents, the way they do things. You should ask yourself, this thing I'm doing, am I projecting a mirror that I've seen in the past? Mirror of my parents, mirror of my uncles, my aunts, people in my life who had influence upon my life then. Or I'm doing it because this is how I've come to know the truth, and I'm living out my own truth. And you should be able to know what are indoctrination, what are the informed opinion. You've got to know. You have to take choices. Some of these, the ones on the left, they are things that they are subtle, that we're born with, we were born into, or we were raised with. But you have to be able to decipher them that no, this is what this is. This should be what it should be. And that is by you making that choice and decision. And then there will be a spell in your life where you are ignorant about something. And when you take decisions and choices in ignorance, they will likely not pay off. They will likely fail. So you have to also get enlightened. All of us at various times in our lives, we've been buffeted by ignorance of what things we don't know that we should know. And then there's a saying that we all pay for ignorance. Anything that we are paying for is because we don't know how to do it ourselves or how to get it done. So we have to pay for it. So we all pay for ignorance. So once you are enlightened about something, that means your enlightenment should drive the ignorance spell away. So you have to choose to be enlightened. You have to choose to knowledge of yourself. Inform yourself. And then once you make choices, or you don't even make choices, those actually influence your decisions. And decisions are also very critical because decisions that you make determine who you are or what you become. I mean, that is it. Our decisions are what make us become. We become our decisions. Who you are, who you become, what you become is a function of your decision. What you do is a function of it because you must have made a choice or a decision to do what you are doing. So your decisions actually influence your decisions, your actions. And then who you marry, very critical for success. Some people have potentials and they married somebody with no potential, and that was the end of potential for them. So who you marry is very critical in terms of success. But that is, you make that choice, it influences your decisions, and you go for that person, either male or female. Either you say, yes, I will marry you, or you say, will you marry me? Whoever you say, either of those two, is a function of your choice, a function of your decisions, a function of your intelligence. How you walk, how you do things is a function of your decision. How you relate to people. speaks to your decision. How you are perceived by others is a reflection of your decisions you've made, because they will see you, how they perceive you, how they see you, how they rate you is a function of decisions you've made in the past that portrays you to them the way they are seeing you, and that help them to make an assessment about your person. Who you connect with in life is a matter of your decision. The fact that you were not born in the same place, you didn't, doesn't mean that you can't become friendly with whoever you want to become friendly with if you go about it the right way, doing the right things. So this also determines how far you move, how far you go, and ultimately how you end. It's a matter of your decision. Where you end is a matter of your decision, your choices. The quality of our lives are actually embedded in our decisions and choices. And the good thing about them is that we can always press the pause button and then start again more intelligently. If I've been running on a highway of mediocrity, what do I need to do to turn it around? You can always press the pause button, assess where you are, what led you there, and then take a U-turn and head in the right direction. It's a matter of decisions and choices. So, as we round off, how do you make better decisions and choices? How do you make better decisions? How do you make better choices? The first thing I always tell people, be a reader. You've got to be able to read. You've got to be able to seek information. And thank God for the age we are now. It's not until you pick a book. You can always read audio books, listen to audio books, and there are other ways to consume, but read. Be conscientious about reading, about ingesting information. You have to read. For you to make your decisions to be quality, to be better, to be sterling, you have to be a reader. There's no shortcuts to that. You have to be devoted to reading and then be committed to seeking information. Those that make excellent decisions and choices, they are researchers. They don't just jump into decisions of making choices. They get information, they analyze the data they have, and that helps them to know, okay, yes, this is the best course of action. You have to be a researcher, be committed to seeking information. And then you have to take time to meditate and to reflect. See, it's not just to say, do. Go. There must be a time when you just pause and you just reflect and meditate. How did I even get to where I am now today? How did I get here in the first place? What are the things I did that got me there? What are the things I did not do that landed me here? You've got to be able to reflect and then meditate and then draw from those lessons to adjust yourself, to rechannel your journey. And then you need to get affiliated to superior cycles. If the cycle you are working with, if your friends, people that you hang out with, if they mostly just talk things that are not relevant to your future, then you've got to be able to know and go for a circle that is superior to your own level of understanding, to your own level of knowledge. Don't be afraid to seek help, to connect with people who know more than you, who have more than you, who are more exposed than you. That is one is a function of your intelligence. That's a function of your intelligence. You've got to be able to affiliate yourself with people who are operating in superior cycles than you are, because that is when you can elevate your decision, you can elevate your choices. Because you can't choose above your environments and your friends, associations, where you flock, where you go. Those are function of your environments, and it's from your environment you can only choose from. Who you marry, you can only choose who you marry from your environment. Environment doesn't mean where maybe you're on the same street or in the same area. No, it's the environment that you expose yourself to, where you can only make choices from. You can't choose your career outside of your environment. It's because of the environment you find yourself. So go for superior cycles where the reasoning is higher than us, where the higher than yours, where the function is at a level that is superior to yours, where you feel, wow, what is going on here? Where you maybe initially will struggle, but you catch up at some point because that is what you need. You've got to go for, get affiliated and connected to superior cycles. They'll be ready to engage and to connect. Don't say because you are the one who doesn't know much about what is going on there, you just keep quiet so that you don't embarrass yourself. No, be ready to engage them, be ready to connect to those who are ready to connect with you. And the more you engage, the more you connect with them, the more you know, the more you're able to also function and speak like them and reason like them. So you need to practice choices and decision making. There's no achiever in life who has not been able to make plenty decisions, plenty mistakes. But the point is to know how to now walk around your mistakes and then turn the failure to success. Because just like all of us, we talk about the example of Thomas Edison, how he tried the incandescent light for God knows how many times before he finally got it. But there's something he said that most of us don't even know. We don't even quote that. And what he said was that failure is an opportunity to start again more intelligently. Once you failed in one area, that gives you an opportunity to what? To start again more intelligently. Or I've learned one way not to do this again. So you've tried and then you hit the bottom. Okay, so that means this is not the way to do it. So you have an opportunity to start again more intelligently. Then be committed to evaluating yourself and your choices and decisions. You can't just make decisions and then you see that that's the end of it. No, you have to be able to sit down and see, this is just I've made. How is it playing out? How is it the way I actually wanted or envisioned it to be? Or it is that spiraled out of control? You have to be able to evaluate your decisions, evaluate your choices. This person I have in my life now, is it the right person that should be in my life? If not, hey, I need to avoid this person. I don't want to hang around with this person again. This person is not leading me to where I want to be. It's derailing me. You've got to be able to evaluate your choices and decisions, choices of friends, choices of associations, choices of career, choices of what you are doing, or what you have decided or you settled on. Then you need to be connected, as in really connected to a higher source. Because we are very religious in Africa. So that means you need God, because there are things that none of us know about life, no matter how much research we do, that are beyond us. So we need that higher force, higher source to be able to guide us where we don't. But that doesn't mean God doesn't want you to use your intelligence. Some of us, we ask God for what He has given us the brain to be able to figure out ourselves. We ask for questions, we ask for answers to questions that we already know. If we use our brain to just process the information, we'll get the answer. God doesn't create dummies. He doesn't create robots. He created us in His image, in His likeness. He's an intelligent God. He's a brilliant God, and He created brilliant and intelligent humans after Him who should be able to use their brain to figure out some things. And that's why, that's why the Westerners, the way they see us in Africa, and all that, we operate at the very base level. And I will just be shaking my head. There are some things that we don't even need too much grammar, too much prayer to solve. It's just a matter of thinking through and then getting it done. But we think until we go to crusade, until we go all these things, that's we know. For God's sake, these are just basic and simple decisions that all of us have got to make. So, in as much as we are seeking a higher source, don't now suspend, don't carry everything and then dump it on his knees and say, okay, we will sort you out. in every area. No, we have to plan. He has given us intelligence to be able to plan, to be able to manage resources, to be able to do things that we should be able to do as far as humanly possible. Somebody says that when you do the possible, God will do the impossible. But we want God to do both possible and impossible. It doesn't work that way. But then be committed to self-improvement. How are you going to improve yourself? Now you are learning things about yourself. You are learning things about choices you've made, decisions you've made, how they've paid off, how they are not paying off. What are you doing with those insights? Are you using them to improve yourself, to improve your next decision, to improve your next move, or you are just repeating the same mistake all over again? And somebody says that the meaning of insanity is for you to be doing the same thing over and over and be expecting a different result. It doesn't work. When you are evaluating yourself, you are appraising your moves, you are assessing your choices, your decisions, your results. You should be able to use those knowledge, those insights to improve yourself. So it's not just okay, and then great, let's try it again. And keep, just like I was sharing, with us about that, my campus experience, trying to organize the national conference of English students in Nigeria. Oh, you've got to, that has happened this way. Okay, yes, not entirely my fault, but how do we make the most of a terrible situation? Not that you now continue to hit your head against that you want to do, you must do it, you must do it, you must work. That is stupidity, that is dumb. And final thoughts that we're leaving with us today. Jim Rohn, I always say Jim Rohn is my mentor. He's dead now. He was a foremost thinker. And when I learned a lot reading his works, listening to his audio, and these are some of the things he says. Say, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge, wish for more wisdom. It's not by settling for less. So I don't want more work. The work is too much. Wish for more skills. Turn the situation around and look at it from another perspective. I don't want this problem is too much. I don't want any other problem. Wish for more wisdom to be able to solve the problems. Wish for more wisdom to be able to solve the problems that you have. So don't wish for less. Wish for more, because more will always overcome the less. Then it says you cannot change the circumstances, the reasons, or the winds, but you can change yourself. That is something you have charge of. You can't change circumstances. Like I was saying, that some of us, we can't change our parents, we can't change our background. It's not as if they are bad, but we can change ourselves. We can change where we go, what we do, how we do it. So you can't change circumstances. You can't change the season. You can't now say, rainy season should come maybe in summer or in August. No, you can't change the uncertainty. You can't change the direction of the wind, but you can change yourself. You have control over yourself. Change yourself. And this is one of my favorites. Say if you don't like how things are, change it. If you don't like how things are, change it. If you don't like where you live, change it. You're not a tree. It's only a tree that cannot change where it's planted. But if you are not a tree, if you don't like where you are, change, just do something. You're not a tree. Move. Don't have this fatal whatever about like, that's the end. This is what life has served me. And no, you're not a tree. You're not a rock. You can change things. And that comes by choices, by decisions that you make. And just like, I mean, the one, the Maya Angelou now says, which is the final one, that if you don't like something, change it. Or if you can't change it, then change your attitude. Stop complaining, stop lamenting, stop whining. Change your attitude. If you cannot change the something and you can't change yourself, then please change your attitude. We don't want complaint, we don't want lamentation. And that is the thought I will be leaving us with today. Yes, okay, we have a Facebook and WhatsApp community. If you want to join us, you can also, please, this is the short link to the WhatsApp group, and this is the link to the Facebook page. Then online on the website, you can also read some of the thoughts that I've shared over time. Mary is the one helping me to manage that page. So if you can hook up with us through any of these platforms on WhatsApp, on Facebook, or online, you can just sign up. I think every Tuesday you will get a newsletter of maybe some of the thoughts and maybe some of my musing for the week or the previous week. So thanks for listening. Do we have any questions? Anyone have any questions? Questions? If you don't have to agree with me, it's a sharing session. So if you don't agree about something, please, let's discuss. Questions, clarifications, anyone, please, as we bring the session to a close. Questions? That is suggesting that everybody understands, or it's either you don't understand at all. Any question, any thoughts, any comments from any of us, please? Okay. With that said, or with that not said, I think I will just bring the session to a close. So see you guys next month when we'll be looking at the next wheel on the Achievers.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you for the thanks. We're looking at the next wheel of achievement, and then we'll be able to. So till then, have a fantastic month of April. See you guys next week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, sir.
Yeah.
Bye.